This video is brought to you by friend of the channel, Gamer Subs. Stick around to learn more about them as well as a special offer they're making available through my channel. You know how we do with these PlayStation exclusives. Wins before we even get into the game. I miss themes, but I am in love with the little snippet of music and a splash screen of the game. It will always put me in the mood for the game I'm about to jump into, and Insomniac picked the perfect one for that too. And yes, just like you, I get goosebumps every time I hear that resolve. Hearing Peter's theme struggle to find its resolution until Miles starts creeping in the track is just beautiful. Don't worry, we're gonna have a lot to say about this game of the year. Did I already say too much about how much I love this game? Thank you, Insomniac, for giving us this initial setup. If you're a crazy person and don't immediately go to the settings when booting up a game, then there are no words to describe our frustration when a game just starts when booting it for the first time and you need help. The absolute breadth of accessibility features in these first-party Sony games are still industry-leading, and I applaud Sony and their studios for taking the time to create all of these. As much as some of Sony's decisions this generation may have rubbed us the wrong way, their strategy of making banger after banger single-player exclusives and building this beautiful ecosystem of accessories is a winning one. Is my Sony pony status showing too much?
It says I gotta tell them about myself.
More like sell yourself.
Who am I? Are you sure you want to know? That's for you ZanClan lovers out there.
I'm working on a college application and it says I gotta tell them about myself.
More like sell yourself. It's the worst.
Yeah, talk about the most relatable Spider-Man problem. Do you have enough trauma growing up to get into this school?
And a while back, I was bitten by a radioactive spider and got superpowers.
Man, that theme is gorgeous. I've been stuck since finishing the game just listening to the OST. It is too damn good!
Hey, I'm laying the track as I drive the train.
Nothing more Peter Parker than that, right?
That was pretty good. But I'm no Peter Parker.
Exactly.
Sony has completely reinvented Miles Morales in the best possible way that I still stand by what I said in my Miles Morales video. Check that out after this one if you haven't seen it, that he's my new favorite Spider-Person. Between this and the Spider-Verse movies, I'm sure he's a lot of your favorites too.
I learned how to be a Spider-Man from the OG. But I learned how to be a hero from my dad.
Damn it! Not even 2 minutes into the game, I'm already welling up. Between the music, respect to Peter, and loving your dad, that last bit broke me a bit. This is gonna be a long one, isn't it, Sean?
Yes, it is.
I love the way Insom has done their menus. This just leads right into the game. Anytime you boot it up, you don't have to sit through 20 seconds of logos. Looking at you, Ubisoft. Just straight to the menu, 2 seconds of black, and you're into New York. It's seriously impressive.
I'm not going to lose you.
The Symbiote. Harry and Norman bathed in green light. The green suit Norman is wearing. It's Symbiote time now, but it's all over this scene that the Goblin is coming. So much so that I almost expected Norman to come out in the third act alongside Venom. Now, that's some good setup.
My name's Pete. Mr. Parker.
This gives big, my parents are embarrassing me energy with him teaching Miles class. And in both Miles and Spider-Man's life, Peter is involved in all consuming of Miles. He can't escape him even if he wanted to. And Miles has a thing or symbiote he can help Peter with.
Ever wonder how some insects and birds, reptiles...
So Swarm, Vulture, and Lizard? No? Not everything that comes out of Peter's mouth is a reference? And notice that Miles feels Sandman first. Not that his spidey sense is better, but because Peter for once is trying to focus on Peter. With a monthly mortgage like his, and him not using his powers to make money, that's how you know he is the true hero.
Now, surface tension is all about cohesion.
This totally is going to come into play here in a second, right?
Can anybody...
I need your help.
This is the perfect use of dramatic irony. And did you notice the interpreters in the back signing for Miles? She's doing him dirty.
Oh, why today?
Oh, heck yes. The vibe of the song is just perfect for a somewhat lighthearted villain of the week type.
What'd you call me?
Swing by Earth Gang is just straight up, yo, Peter and Miles as a Spidey team are the best, and working with friends is better than alone. And it's a banger! Seriously, this is the perfect song to set the tone and themes of the game. And some timing swinging up in a way with handing us control for our first swing are the little details we find everywhere that make this game great. Wow, just look how vibrant the city is. This NYC seemed to have said no to New Form and planted every tree they could. I don't remember there being this much foliage in the city last time I was there. Someone enlighten me? Needless to say, being unchained from the PS4 and getting to create a solely next-generation New York makes what many already said was perfect and somehow found a way to make it even better. Except for the Chrysler building. I'm still upset about it. And the animations, I think we take for granted nowadays just how hard it is to make animations this smooth, that all perfectly flow into each other. Spider-Man is next level with it.
Calm him down.
I've seen people lose control like this. Be careful.
Otto? Foreshadowing Peter later on in this game? And Insomniac just had to show off that we aren't in Kansas, I mean Manhattan anymore, didn't they? Just how cool is all of this? Having another Spider-Man swinging in our view with a giant-ass Sandman. You're probably going to be hearing me fanboy a lot during this video, and I'll try to keep it down to a minimum, but I cannot. It's Spider-Man!
It was supposed to be a normal day. Physics, have awkward conversations in the teacher's lounge.
And yet for Peter, I'm sure it's easier to make conversation here than in the teacher's lounge.
Mini Marcos? I wish I could do that.
And you were so close to being able to.
Nothing. I'm just...
Oh, the spider arms. Some people love them, some people hate them. These were just a suit ability in the first game, and now they are as essential to Peter's kit as Miles' Venom is. This was a direct result of the new ability system and needing Peter to have something outside of symbiote powers to balance out Miles. And gosh, do I love the spider arms personally. Even just thinking about them and writing this script, I want to just go play more Spider-Man and swing around. And also like Doc Ock inspired, you know. Yo, why is Marco kinda hot? Let's just add 1 to the tally of the amount of times Miles saves Peter in this game. It's a lot. And now just like that, we're playing as Miles. I knew we all predicted it, but mine's in writing on the previous Spider-Man videos, so I'm the real hero. Wow, the scale of this fight. Nothing really matches in sheer size in the rest of this game. What a way to open this. And in retrospect, this moment in a way feels small compared to the rest of the game, which is a testament to the amazing character work they did and not having to rely on spectacle to keep us engaged. The first things that come to mind when thinking about this game, for me, is the Peter Miles fight, playing as Venom, and that Scream boss fight. Just you wait, I got words for that boss fight because it messed me up. Just like with the Electro Vulture fight from 1, Spider-Man can basically fly without his web wings and is a version of Spider-Man we haven't seen in the motion medium like this. Makes pretty much any kind of fight possible, and Ensam puts that to use. Oh my god, my jaw was on the floor. Insomniac just really wanted to flex their muscles that no one knows how to use an SSD better than them. This is in no small part to what they learned from Ratchet & Clank Rips Apart. They got me. In the words of Jakey, they sniped my butt. It's over. Game of the year.
That's why he's the GOAT! Thought I lost you there. Can't get rid of me that easy.
Remember that for when Miles starts beating the shit out of Peter.
Easy, dude. You too, Mr. Parker. Wait, what? Nose? Genki knows all.
I like that Genki figured it out on his own, making him perfect for being the guy in the chair. Kind of sad that he takes a back seat to Harry and MJ though. Same could be said for Haley, but we'll get there. You might want to grab a snack and some bevies because we gonna be here a while, friends. Don't forget, I love me a diegetic HUD.
Why couldn't Marco just make sandcastles instead?
Maybe after y'all reform him, you will. And Miles got the quips too. He's no Peter, I have to admit, but he's trying out here.
Listen, I can talk to your principals, but New York needs you right now.
Coolest mom ever.
God damn it, Miles. You took my win from me. For real though, that's the best way to handle this situation. Understand that there is no going to be stopping him, and better to just let go and embrace the situation. Also, she totally believes in him and knows his strength, and yeah, we love a supportive mom. Sandmanians was such a creative way to give us mobs to punch around and tutorialize the game. They're made of sand, they go down easily, and you can do whatever you want with them. Brutes, ranged, could have had ones that after the Venom Strike makes them like the guys with torches or whatever, only if they wanted to slap me with every mechanic at the start, but then some is better than me at developing, which is like saying Usain Bolt can outrun a toddler, but my point still stands. No need to overwhelm us with everything at the start.
He's trying to eat me! Let's give him a drink instead!
The web wings? They're flying!
Should I say it? They fly now!
You want me to get hit by lightning? Can you handle it? Only one way to find out.
I don't know why this stuck out to me so much. Guess it was just Peter checking in with him that got to me. Yuri Lowenthal's delivery, Miles just going for it. I don't know.
Now or never, Spider-Man. Time to move.
It's so cute that they call each other Spider-Man. I know they have to because identity, but it's still cute. Oh look, Miles saving Peter. Wonder if we'll see that again.
We good? Good.
Sorry, I just had to. You know what you were thinking it too. To the people that went in blind and just know a little bit about Kraven, this is the perfect expectation subversion for who he is.
A fate you will not share.
He's bigger, he's badder, he's hotter, he's got the drippiest cloak on since Kratos in Ragnarok, That's a scary dude right there. Oh, hell yes. No title card until Daddy Kraven is coming to town. You can even hear his effect on the music. You can hear the concern in it. SSD, 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 SSD. We get it in some, but it's still so cool. Because it's all in engine. There isn't a cutscene that isn't pre-rendered, which makes for a really even presentation. We straight up get a whole last mission solely about helping people. And even during the Sandman boss fight, Peter and Miles were taking shots just to make sure one person was safe. If that doesn't prove that Insom knows Spider-Man, just wait till the screen boss fight.
Spider-Man got a call with the precinct up ahead and the line cut out. We gotta get through to set up triage.
I can still appreciate Spider-Man and public service worked symbiotically.
You still got that 3D printer built into your web shooters, right?
Excuse me? Got what? Who needs Tony Stark in this universe? Spider-Man is the bee's knees with tech.
Environmental study by a new startup.
Huh, neat that it's the Emily May Foundation. This is why we replay games, so we can steal this stuff that Insom was like,
but you kids are gonna love it.
Which I call Focused Relay Neighborhood Data Spots.
FRND. Did I just make a friend?
I think a few of us could use this machine. The skills have always been done so well in each of these games. Now having two Spider-Mans, Insom was smart in having the shared skills along with their own respective trees. Then of course sharing gadgets and other upgrades like suit tech. It's perfectly set up so we don't feel like we're rebuying the same abilities for the other Spider-Man and might to make us pick favorites. Peter. Those symbiote powers were too good not to max out. Sorry Miles, once Peter gets slimed, he's my new best friend now.
I'm not angry, Miles, just focused. When have you ever seen me angry?
Haha, they're really setting up the symbiote. Man, is the touchpad still such a cool feature. Being a giant button, but having cool gimmick stuff like swiping like we're unlocking our phone to access, well, our phone, just another notch in the belt of Sony being a badass this generation.
Okay, local network is connected.
Does the music need to go this hard just to get our Wi-Fi back online? Absolutely. Parried! Again, for the Zan clan. Every game should have a parry. I don't care if there's not even combat in it. Even our girlfriends deserve the pleasure of parry when they're playing The Sims or whatever. Like imagine a dude hit on you in The Sims and you can parry to get away from the creep. I'm a genius. Why don't people hire me? It's just another thing that Spider-Man 2 brings to upgrade the combat. The combat here isn't some revolutionary change, but much in the vein of God of War Ragnarok, just adding on and expanding to an already great system.
Miles, it's MJ. Just checking in.
MJ just checks in on Miles? I love this. It is so cute. They're all just buddies and it warms my heart. The Spidey team needs Genki to play more of a role and then they're all set up to take on Goblin in Spider-Man 3. What about Haley?
What about them?
That's just poetic at this point. Swinging with people? Now that's just what Spider-Man people do and I'm here for it. Especially that one mission where we carry the mascot.
Jonah, my sunshine, you okay?
Help! I've been abducted!
Yes! I love this Jonah.
I'm not going anywhere! Wait, where am I going? Where am I going?
He's not the dry, accidentally hilarious J.K. Simmons, more of a goofball, kind of insane dude, and I still pick his podcast before the Danicast. Both Spider-Men have to confront their other life at exactly the same time. Spider-Man 2's story doesn't really bring in anything new that we haven't seen in previous ones, which is not an issue to me because it's really well told. If it sucked, then I'd be upset. But Spider-Man 2 feels mostly like, not fan service, but wish fulfillment. Going throughout, I caught myself multiple times wishing for something to happen, and then it did, and I went bananas for it. It's predictable in the good kind of way that just makes you feel satisfied instead of cheated. Now, Spider-Man 3, that's gonna tackle a Goblin story for sure, but with the conversation with Otto and Cindy Silk being introduced, and Peter taking a break, Insom really left doors open for which direction to go. Check out these sign animations. I've just begun learning ASL, so it was really cool to actually be able to read what they're signing. That's some animation right there. Cap Shield! I know Insom is busy as hell with Wolverine and the next Miles spinoff and Spider-Man 3, but if anyone was going to make an Avengers game at this point, they're the only ones up for the job. What's that about a Miles spinoff? I'll talk about that later. The new web slinging mechanics are awesome. I cannot see what more they could come up with to iterate on this. The speeds we can achieve in this game are crazy, and being able to slingshot and loop-de-loop gives so much diversity to how we keep our momentum going. Oh, yeah, and they added fall damage and accessibility features to make swinging not necessarily harder, but give us more freedom and raise the skill ceiling for what is possible.
Well, look who's in the neighborhood.
Here we go.
Oh my god, and Insom just keeps swinging. Miles is just out here doing his own Spider-Man thing, and we get natural team-ups like this. Awesome.
Watching you take them down was something else. My knees hurt just watching you.
Okay, yep, game of the year. It's insane how good a year this has been for gaming. Oh, there's colors? That's so cool! Was literally the exact way and thing I said when I saw this. There's 78 total suits, and a lot of them have these styles, so this freaking game has like over 100 suits in a way. That's just kind of insane, isn't it?
Quite a first day for you. Hopefully tomorrow will be quieter.
I am sure it will be.
Telling the truth without telling the truth. I lost my when I saw this. Even Insomniac is getting jabs in at the housing market. I see they couldn't bring themselves to full send on the 6.9 interest rate. Nice, just to really show how much our corporate overlords are f***ing us.
Give me a rent.
I wanted a new feather in my cap. Instead of being good at a few things, I wasn't good at anything.
It's something that we all know, but continuously fail to do. In school, I was the exact same way, letting one thing slip because I cared more for the other, letting a relationship fall out because I was more focused on myself and couldn't see the whole picture. It's why the Scream boss fight hurts me so much. It's always good to take inventory and really remind yourself about priorities in your life, because even worse than taking on too much and struggling to balance it all, it's not having anything on your plate and letting your life pass you by. It's why Peter and Miles do what they do. Why MJ tried to write her books and start her podcast. Why May and Lee worked for Feast. Harry with... You see my point. We all just want to make an impact, whether it's saving the city or holding the door for someone. You never know when you're the best part of someone's day, so keep trying and stick around and see where you can take your life instead of letting life take you.
Balance is a process, not a destination. I'm still working on that.
God, even writing the script and rewatching this got a tear out of me. To hear someone we hold in such high regard, someone old and wise, to still be struggling and working on the things that we are, it's so impactful. Plus, with the music and her passing the first game, Insom's kind of cheating at this point to get that tear. But I'm kidding, they earned that tear out of me. So MJ's new face, it really just looks as if she just matured. MJ before kind of looked like she was barely 21. Now she looks like a proper adult in her mid-20s dealing with all the shit us mid-20s deal with. She looks great and she doesn't look weird. People are just mean.
MJ!
I knew it, but I still love it. Harry's probably like, who the f is this guy and why is he acting like Peter? That's my first dig about Peter's face, and don't you worry, we're gonna talk about it.
Coney Island? For old time's sake?
It's a date.
See this, people? We can love our friends and give little kisses like this and not be weird. If anything, it's more endearing.
Tank?
Cigarette Daydreams kind of took me by surprise. But it is fitting. It's got this melancholic, nostalgic beauty to it, even if it's the first time you're ever hearing it. And it fits well with Harry and Pete holding things back from each other with lines like, you sign, look away, I can see it clear as day. Later being hateful with the symbiote, i.e. the mean streak in the lyrics. And with Peter constantly being pulled by Spider-Man, the line, I can see you standing next to me, in and out, somewhere else right now, represents that. He's always got one ear out for Spider-Man. A choice I didn't expect, but perfect for this scene and Peter after looking into the lyrics. Strange being on the ground in this game. We're so used to being high above the city, we never take our time to appreciate the detail Insom is placed on the ground floor. Finally, this Peter actually looks like a little nerd instead of the hottest dude in school. Oh, and actually, like, kids. Eyeing you, Toby. This is some pretty cute, necessary bonding for Harry and Peter. They got 2 acts to make us care about Harry for when Venom takes over. A tall order and exactly why the Miles and Peter stuff hit harder for me. We've just got more time invested in them.
You don't think she'll help?
I don't know if she'll move in.
New Slang by the Shins is playing here. It's beautifully placed as we enjoy the fun innocence of them being kids running around the school without a care in the world, contrasted by their adult selves all mired with the everyday trappings that kids just don't even consider, which the song is largely about. I just love how much consideration can go into song choice when we aren't even focused on the lyrics and just here to enjoy what it adds to the soundscape.
Our best revenge is to win that competition tomorrow.
Speaking of soundscape, these whimsical horns keep any real tension off this scene as kids can't really endure consequence. The fun we're having here is set up for the rug pull with Harry at the end of this mission.
What is this?
Ooh, these transitions have been so smooth. We didn't know nor care about Harry and his mother's relationship, but for me, this still hurts like hell to see. Until recently, I never understood how the loss of someone could bring you to your knees, and now I do. Seeing Harry go through this has just ripped me back to that moment, and for Insomniac to capture that feeling of utter heartbreak like this is a bravo events for me. Can we just appreciate Miles' utter drip with his new hair? Gone is the plucky little kid scared of Rhino and messing up. Here is Miles Morales, a true Spider-Man!
I need whatever it is, I'm down.
Need some help with a babysitting mission at the rap.
Sounds fun.
My God, I lost it here too. Totally unexpected and expected. And how many times am I going to use the word relatable in this video? Probably at least 3 more.
Sounds fun. Fill me in on the way.
That's just perfect. We've all sat around waiting for an excuse to not do our responsibilities. Najee Jeter does such a good job here, growing his voice from the little baby spider in Spider-Man 2018 to this more mature adult.
Dating, actually.
Oh, right.
And there's this one guy.
This is the hallmark of a healthy family right here, and among some of the most awkward conversations that parents have to have with their kids. Trust me, as a lovely bastard, I've had to deal with these conversations for both mom and dad, and they are always awkward. So the web wings, I absolutely love them, and I think everyone else does, except maybe one person. Look at you, Shillip. They're completely optional, and just add another layer to our swinging arsenal, and is especially needed when it comes to crossing the East River or slinging around Queens. Nothing felt better than slingshotting off a building and gliding with them. They're also just so seamless. You could pop in and out of them so easily and even web zip while using them. Again, I can't think of another game that holds a candle to the absolute baller amount of animation work on display here.
Scorpion can definitely throw a tantrum. I'll be there.
Just like with the previous entries, the winded voice while fighting and swinging versus at rest, I can only imagine they had to record every line twice, and it's incredible the consistency Jeter and Lowenthal have with their winded performances, and just how smooth that Insomniac knows how to transition between them.
Miles.
Wow, just the sheer sight of Lee got Miles this riled up. I can't imagine what I'd do in his shoes knowing that I have the power to get justice. Makes this mission to come so compelling as we're just waiting to see if Miles will break Spider-Man's rule.
Red, yellow, if these are...
So these are either a nod to paint bombs used to mark trespassers on private land for hunting, or warning the spiders that this is their hunt. Or they're just used to judge distance before Kraven brings in his forces. But Peter was judging the color, and it wasn't until green that the boats exploded, so actually I think it was just an attack signal. What do you think? Again, I love that Spider-Man and law enforcement are like two balls in a nutsack. The enemy types Kraven brings to the table are hard. These guys that George of the Jungle around plinking away at us, bitches demanding alimony, jungle girls that are a little too tough, and the big chunguses. There's a lot. All this to say that Spider-Man 2 is quite difficult, not the most difficult game with this combat system I've ever played. Unlike the Arkham games, there are constant range weapons we had to contend with, giving us so many decisions we've got to make per fight. Oh, and don't forget laser beaks for some reason, giving us some more aerial combat outside of us just saying so.
We are ready. What this fight does want?
Who'd have fucking invited Ermac? And Buddy Cop team-ups? Something that'll even happen without a focus bar? Can this game get any cooler?
Overeat! Mayday! Mayday!
People inside are gonna drown.
I'll keep trying to get these things out.
They don't even deliberate on plans anymore. They both just know what needs to be done and trust each other.
Handle, Lee. I can turn around right now.
No, I got this. Go on.
Are you sure?
Can't let him near my family again.
Me, this music! You can't tell me you didn't get a surge of power every time it played in combat. It's like turning on the song in a COD Zombies map. And it's always just so perfectly placed, coming in to back up Miles with his confidence of handling Lee. Kraven's theme just screams bad motherfucker. Jim Peary brings a presence to Kraven that you can't help but fear and respect. He actually got so into the role that towards the end of production, he was making suggestions of what the character might do and say. As creative director Brian Inthar said, when an actor fully encompasses a role like that is when the magic really starts to happen. And we can see just how smart he is just through the little things. Taking a bigger picture shot instead of just killing a little spider he doesn't even respect as part of his hunt yet. This set piece just keeps getting better and better, from the deck of the ship to the crumbling inside to an acid trip on the side of the ship, saving people of the boat, the propeller eating the dock, having to pick between personal vendettas and saving lives. It's so seamless between each one, you don't even realize how bonkers it all is until you take a step back just to see how much was packed into one mission. And I'd expect nothing less for Kraven's real intro of what he's capable of. Dude even brought his own fireworks for his introduction. Look at the physical performance and direction, being mindlessly drawn towards Lee like a moth to a flame.
You are just gonna let me die. You don't know what you took from me.
The proper way to do the Thanos seeing Wanda in Endgame scene. I also love this moment of him racking his brain, and it scares even him that he's taken so much from so many that he even affected a Spider-Man. Doing the right thing.
We'll put Lee back where he belongs.
In the dirt!
Don't leave me hanging.
Trying to soak over here.
Not on my watch. Come on.
You're too much, man.
These two are so endearing. I could watch a whole game of them just hanging out. The board game they said Peter got mad at, I could watch them doing that all day.
Besides, we gotta settle some things.
We do?
God damn, look at the tricks! The way they just flow together.
Relax. I'm not trying to get my ass kicked by my nephew again.
I applaud Insomniac not making Miles Morales required playing before Spider-Man 2. We get caught up in everything we need to enjoy this story. But it really would be doing yourself a disservice if you don't. Uncle Aaron is wearing the GamingWins colors. I mean, Prowler's colors. Costume design isn't breaking bad levels of fun with color, but it cares where it counts.
We can't let him live up here. It's just another kind of prison. But sometimes you gotta push the past away so you can make room for the future.
Wow. Prison, and more importantly, Miles really reformed Aaron. It's a big theme for Spider-Man 2 of Reformation, and especially with Tombstone being a mechanic, I just love that visual. But more importantly, Peter reforming his relationship with, well, everyone after the black suit, but more specifically MJ about all the relation problems they've pushed down. Harry and Venom trying to reform the world. Norman, his son. Rio, the baddie, her love life. And all this can only be done by doing exactly what Unc said. Gotta let the past go to make room for the future. Everyone goes through some version of that in this game. Except for our bad guys, and that's why there are bad guys. Even just these little moments of nothing special swinging feels amazing.
Whoever freed Lee sounds like my tech is right up their alley. I want it falling into the wrong hands. You're the only person I trust with this.
F that other Spider-Man for real though. Super slingshots. That is all. Just like GTA 5, these Spider-Men are doing their own thing when not playing as them, and I want to know this joke he said. Sounded funny. Plus, just how fast that change was, and fast traveling is just the same speed. Just sneeze and you're where you're going. Also, the way it zooms into the map that is lined up exactly with the actual city, it just starts swinging. My god, it's so amazing. This game doesn't need fast travel, but when it's so seamless and you're already swinging again, who cares when you need to go from the West Village to Astoria? It kind of connects you more to the city as well, being able to see the grid of it all and then just be there. It's not as simple as just doing one mission to unlock fast travel. You gotta help New York a bit before unlocking it for each district of the city. Which, by the point you're unlocking fast travel for parts of the city, you're already used to just swinging around everywhere. You probably just forget it's even an option. Which also helps out the side content, as not all of it just is plastered around your map. You've got to swing around and find them on your own, which pushes us even further away from fast traveling and just doing what Spider-Man do. Now that the game was made with Peter's new face in mind, just like Miles Morales, I don't think it looks bad or weird at all. Do I miss the more weathered Peter still? Of course I do. But this Peter looks like a 25-year-old that's just taking really good care of himself. Also, that neck! Pete went to the Creed 2 training camp, it seems like.
You know, he made all the arrangements.
Peter Parker!
You know, I'm something of a scientist myself.
And now that you're on board, this place is really gonna start cooking.
No cap, this Norman finna bussin' with that Riz he be slapping on Pete. Dead ass. Ah, missed opportunity to use a DualSense controller for that.
We've actually met. I used to work with Dr. Octavius. You came to the lab once to consult on electrotactile stimuli.
Would have been funny if he accidentally slipped about meeting him as Spider-Man.
Your doctor is the lizard?
Dad believes in second chances.
Something I'm so excited they explore in the third game. I mean, Pete feels the same way. We can do puzzles here. I know not everyone loves them, me included, but it's good to have something to do other than beat up dudes and swing around. And hey, Peter's a scientist, so it tracks. I'm hoping they add some more to the open world come next game, as things in this open world are starting to feel a bit samey, even if it is still a lot of fun to do. Oh, and these puzzles are alright, but Miles' add-on puzzles are actually a lot of fun. Really pulling out all the stops to get Peter to join you, aren't you? I don't blame him, but he's a little cheap.
Telling me that our planet is in trouble. And it's my responsibility to save it.
With great brain comes great responsibility. Digging the parallel between him and Peter right now.
I'm gonna need a little time to transition out of my tutoring job.
Of course. Take whatever time you need. It's all about balance, right?
Oh, that is just perfect. And I love just how accepting Harry is. I guess I would be too if I had a dad with a blank check and was actually really smart enough to help the world on this scale. Still though, these perks didn't grow him arrogant, which is quite an easy trap to fall into.
This new foundation run by my best friend.
I thought Miles was your best friend. I guess they're more brothers than friends. Jeez, it's just so effortless to get so much speed going so quick, and all the footage you see is without any speed upgrades. It's making me wonder how it's gonna feel going back to Spider-Man 1 or Miles Morales in the future. If it'll feel like a turtle's pace or not. Pretty neat that we can open the camera in Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man app from the menu if our touchpad is broken.
What in the...
Wakanda is happening here.
Now have your boss with the main get this kind of tech!
A true hunter knows how to camouflage.
You could have just said I don't know!
Spidey quips always
Put a smile on my face.
Sorry, Birdie. This is just as awkward for me as it is for you.
just had to make it weird, didn't you? They never ever explained the spider arms. Not even the throwaway line, just
I'm here to deal with it.
That's what happens when you have bad trigger discipline friends. Spidey being a good role model by being a not so good one. Stealth feels so much better in this game, giving us more options and wholly feeling more necessary as the absolute number of mobs Insomniac likes throwing at us can get a bit overwhelming. This marked the first death just playing on normal, and let me tell you, from here on out, difficulty just keeps sliding upwards, especially boss fights, which, don't you worry, I got some words for them.
Black Cat. This Kraven guy's putting together quite the team.
Cute, naive spider. The irony is not lost on me, friends. Just like the previous games, there are shots in here that looked ripped straight out of a comic book. Like here, just add in some onomatopoeia, some contrasting bright colors, and you get yourself a full 2-page splash.
They said you were a killer. Imagine my disappointment.
Okay, Kraven is a badass. Takes out one of the Sinister Six with just a couple flicks of his wrist. No better way to raise the stakes with a villain than to have him effortlessly take down someone we struggled against. For us, it was a whole mission. For Kraven, it's a snore.
Hallucinogens. Probably the worst part of Scorpion's poison. Almost an exact replica. Must have been probing it for weaknesses.
I love this little setup, showing us just how seriously Kraven takes his hunting, preparing, learning about every aspect of his prey, like a good ethical hunter should. And he goes straight for the kill, you will notice. He doesn't play with his food. When he kills Scorpion and Spider-Man, it's quick, just how any hunter would strive for. Shouldn't NYC be glass right now? Oppie did this and got hated for it. Miles did it and no one bats an eye. We straight up are just Batman now. Okay guys, now we can make fun of Ensom for following Arkham's footsteps.
Whoa!
Sound takes time to travel. Love the attention to detail.
Everything we've seen from these hunters has me kind of worried.
You're worried about your boyfriend's ex? That's compassion.
Once again, Miles taking my win from me. Whoa, totally not expecting us to get this close to any other Marvel thing that doesn't touch Spider-Man. It's almost like Ensom is vetting interest in expanding the Spider world. Oh, yeah. What was the one supposed to be?
I don't know, Ding or something.
Oh, game over.
Miles is a better man than me, because I would have folded like...
Remember when I mentioned Rifts Apart? Yeah, they just couldn't help themselves in impressing us further with that tech, could they? Just like Strange being taken to the top of an ice-cold mountain, the wand brings Felicia to something similar.
How are you a dog?
Or the cat person!
No, we're getting you to Paris. Your girlfriend needs you.
You really are Spider-Man!
Now that did put a smile on my face. Doctor Who? And f me, even Ensom is in on the meme of Wong being in everything.
Don't bro me, bro. You and Haley are made for each other.
Super ironic and a good time to mention why. Miles wants to go to college for music production and Haley is deaf. I guess you could say they're made for each other, as no matter how bad his music could be, she could always say it sounded great.
You don't ask her out, you're violating laws of nature.
We'll see. After we check on Mysterio.
Classic Spider-Man, putting the spider work first.
Hello. I'm Quentin Beck, Master Illusionist.
I know, sheer Dalal. I know it's when you notice something once, you start to see it everywhere, but I'm seeing him everywhere now. I love him and he's great. Can we just admire Miles' drip? Peter really looking like he mows the lawn once a week and attends PTA meetings, while Miles definitely
I want you to think about your future, your hopes and your dreams. Ah, yes. I'm getting good data.
Nice, making Mysterio still seem like a villain with these lines, but in totality, he's really just trying to turn his life around. Ensom has tension to this scene purely because we know Beck's past. And it's obvious why we get sent into his DJ gig, as that's what he hopes for with his future, and it gets perverted by Lee. As long as he's out there, Miles doesn't see a future for himself that doesn't involve him.
Now we outside.
Shit, does this go hard? I would kill to have the next rave I go to throw in some Spider-Man music. Still, the rawest thing that sent me at a rave was hearing Hanzo's ult voice line be the drop for a song. Love Elenium. Miles has a story about Lee happening alongside the Symbiote storyline, and I imagine it was faster to have Miles experience 3 dream sequences with an additional 4th with Peter to speed up his arc, as it wasn't mentioned once in his own game about Miles hating Lee. I'm not in love with dream sequences as they feel a little cheap, but the ones here are so well done, and we still get great scenes with Miles and his friends and family that still hit. And Som did them well.
I think if you finish the song, you might hit a break point in the program.
It's pretty neat that it takes his art, something that he could focus on and lose himself in to get himself out of the lead nightmare. Creation is a giant tool for self-reflection and escapism.
Looks like he's a mechanic? And saving the day.
Thanks for pulling me out, man.
Seeing that Spider-Man not only stops the villains and puts them in jail, he also gives them a second chance, something that Miles spends this game learning and what Peter is going to need after the symbiote. And that plays right along with the Reformation theme I was talking about earlier. Harry getting a second lease on life through the symbiote, Peter with the Foundation. Amazing that Peter could still have fun on a roller coaster after swinging around a Spider-Man. You'd think that nothing could compare after. Peter always pulls his punches, otherwise the villains would be paste. Harry's got a lot to learn about that. I gotta learn how these Spider-Men change so fast. Fighting in the vibrant Coney Island. This is awesome. Having the rides be a part of the combat arena, using bits of the decor to smack enemies around, it's another feather in Insom's cap with the higher level of variation this game has over its predecessors. Spider-Man just killed those guys, right? Right?
I'm sorry!
Remember what I said about wish fulfillment? Yeah, I freaking cheered so hard when Harry saved him. Also, could you imagine Peter's guilt arc if he wasn't able to save these people? That I'm sorry got to me.
Harry! Pete?
Such an awesome way for them to learn each other's secrets, saving people just as they always hoped to do. And like, secret identities are kind of out the door at this point. If you're chumps with Spider-Man, then you're gonna know who he is. Iron Man 2008 kind of changed the game on that. Graham Phillips replaces Scott Porter from the first game, and he nails it as Harry. This look of confusion and surprise is so wholesome. And Harry is a hunk, what can I say?
It's my treatment.
Ooh, I know he gets it, but how cool that the symbiote is immediately trying to jump to Peter. It can feel his strength, and just like with any parasite, it wants the strongest host because we all know there's nothing symbiotic about that relationship.
All right, I'll swing by.
Swing by. Man, how many times have you said that and meant it literally?
Every time.
Watch this!
Woo!
Man, stuff like this really gets me endeared to Harry, so when he becomes Venom, it makes me so much more sad. We go from this cuteness to...
Nice and gentle.
Does not exist with the symbiote. Look at that yee-yee-ass DDR2 motherboard with that ketchup and mustard. They're so cute. We even get the dad coming home to see the boys pulled an all-nighter at the sleepover, and we're rowdy. Spider-Verse! And the first bot we find is from the totally real Spider-Man, Miguel O'Hara.
But if I hear anything, you're my first call.
Oh, you're the best.
Yeah, I know.
That's so cute that I want to puke. Good job, Insom.
Spiders, got something for you. Head to this location.
Felicia?
Hey, Felicia.
Miles and her are just buds now while Peter is scared. That's great.
You said the steel foundry, right?
Yeah. What are you doing?
Cardio.
Get back to your workout.
Come on, Peter, that's your go-to excuse and you didn't see it coming? His mask is just like Spider-Man's. He wants to be just like him. And I also love that his suit kind of looks like a child's suit. He's got pads and everything to protect him for his first outing.
I'm not all punching bad guys. I've had to make some hard choices too.
In the field tutoring and talking about Aunt May. Peter and Miles' suit decoration is pretty great. It's not as cool as Batman's, where each encounter slightly damages it more and more until the end, but that really isn't possible with the way these games work. You know, it doesn't all happen in one night. He was struggling a bit, but Baby waits for his super hair landing.
All right, let's...
Come on! Gotta hit them before they hit us!
Naturally, just so excited to be there. No stealth allowed.
Fire power! Need a little Harry here!
A little... Harry. Ha, ha.
I'm stuck!
Oh god, it's like Toy Story 3. I'm still traumatized from seeing that at 10 years old.
There's our guy. What's the plan?
I think we should get him.
That's a perfect way to teach and have kids learn. Ask them how it should be done and what to do to get them thinking critically and then correct. But Harry has nothing. Head empty, full sent. Peter can't even fathom it.
You trying to kill everyone here?
No, just the ones that we knock out and leave in the giant foundry explosion.
No, it's too hot in there!
You got any better ideas? Hard choices, right?
Learning quickly. Oh, so good.
See you around, Spider.
But in the best possible way.
Sorry, I'm not over his face. Just look at that smile. Those laugh lines are doing work to make him not look younger than Miles.
Didn't you just...
The evolution of the black suit is so cool, and trust me, we're gonna talk about it with Peter. And it's not just the strength that the symbiote is after. It's learning all it knows about Earth from Harry, and these buds are best friends. You could see this as the symbiote, i.e. Harry, never wanted to let go of Peter, and takes his design to feel closer to him.
He has some sort of power suit. Kicked all kinds of butt with it. He's gonna be a big help with these hunters, that's for sure.
More than you know.
¿Todo bien?
Fine. Everything's good.
The mom stare. We all know it.
I've got to let go of things that don't serve me and focus on where I want to go.
Sounds like her and Unc were pretty close.
Mom, do you need me to go? Where am I headed?
Harlem Cultural Center, 116th and Convent.
I want to live in New York City for a year just to understand the city in this intimate of a way. Don't get me wrong, I still live just outside of main city, Missouri, but those don't hold a candle to NYC with how you can navigate it. So we go from saving supervillains' lives and symbiote shenanigans to helping at a museum. Miles' story is still at that friendly neighborhood level, and I think that's okay. Spider-Man has always been about both. Even with his side quests, he's helping out his school, and with Miles, it's always been about community. Hell, most of the first game was just about Miles saving Harlem, and this is a continuation of that.
You have a sec? Of course. Actually, Harry's calling. I have to take this.
And it's important for these two to be going through very different journeys, as it's a big part of their story of growing apart, if not being pulled apart, because of Peter's lack of balance. We see Miles struggling to balance everything and puts more emphasis on Spider-Man and Peter instead of his friends. Think about the beginning when he abandoned his students. That was just a preamble to what he does to Miles in the second act of this game. Yay! More MJ missions. We hated them in Spider-Man 1, and they still kill the pacing in this game. But at least we get way more options to defend yourself, and by the end of this game, we're like mini John Wick, so thank you for that, at least in some. We also need these sections to make MJ feel more part of the Spidey team and continue to buck the trend of the dams while these stories rode on for like 50 years.
There are no good men, only good prey.
This dude is menacing.
But so hot.
Having the lizard be a big part of this story was important to highlight the themes of our darker half taking over. Connors isn't the lizard the same way Pete isn't the black suit, and Harry isn't Venom. He just blocked our punch like that? Could normal Spider-Man even take down Kraven? It's cool that all the abilities we see Harry use, we later get to use as Peter. Peter's dying, and just watching Harry go to town and actually beat back Kraven wasn't on my bingo card for this game.
No!
God, those strings just hurt. We all knew that he wasn't going to die, but Ensom still treats the moment with the respect it deserves. And they let it sit for just long enough for some of us to maybe believe that Peter is gone. We've got a backup Spider-Man anyways.
What happened?
Notice the eyes are a bit pointed until Peter wakes up, and then they're completely smooth, showing just how strong Peter's will is to back off the symbiote from taking over right away. The Raimi black suit is cool and all, and the other depictions in comics are just of a smooth black, but I like how disgusting and alien this version is.
Oh, this is good.
Immediately, we're shown how powerful this suit is. Yuri Lowenthal's voice is scary. Then add the music of which sounds like it's for when a villain gets unleashed, and the echoing sound effects that seem like Peter has been taking some kind of drugs, which, come on, he basically is. And the animations are just brutal. We don't feel powerful just because we could three-shot enemies. Every bit of the presentation just oozes power. And just like that first shot of alcohol or first hit of any drug, it always hits the hardest and is the best. It's the same for Peter having the unlimited super and super fast charging abilities. Insomniac did such a good job with it that I even started to feel addicted to the power the same way Peter does. The symbiote powers are all so much more fun to use than the spider arms. And then symbiote surge, which you're seeing now, is just cake. I don't think Ensom could have done the black suit any better.
No notes.
And just like addiction, good luck trying to share it with others when you're in that deep.
Hunters. They've been coming through here for days.
You'll get your
help
when you fix this damn door!
I thought I left this behind on Volgograd. The flames have been lit.
The beacons are lit!
The symbiote can kind of be a homie sometimes, though.
I'm a spy. A spider spy. A spider.
Spider lines are also so fun because after you put up your fifth one in a room and have enemies dangling all over, you truly feel the exaggerated swagger of a spider.
Didn't know hunting could be so existential.
I mean, it kind of is where we as humanity started. It's probably one of the things that we still do in the modern days that keeps us closest to those caveman roots. See what I'm saying? It's exactly why Kraven loves the hunt. Nothing more grounded than a hunt in the woods, or concrete jungle in this instance. It's like Steve Arenella says.
I live to hunt and hunt to live.
Yep, we've arrived at Bully Lowenthal. Spider-Man would never harm a surrendering enemy.
Honestly, I hate working here. They are so weird.
How's the suit?
Weird. It's like it knows me.
Because it was on Harry, you know? Your best friend. Still better it's not Miles. Remember I talked about this game being hard? I'm going through again on ultimate difficulty right now, and holy hell, the shield bear's whooping my ass. Spider-Man 2 doesn't stop giving us new enemies to fight throughout the entire game. I love that little detail that even the rain droplets are hurting him. And all the setup they've done about the symbiote's weakness with Harry's first mission, we all know it, but you've got to remember this is probably some people's first time ever seeing the Black Suit storyline, which makes me envious. God, he's so cool. And of course it would be Kraven who's the first to figure out the symbiote's weakness. He is the Jägermeister. Now, all of Peter's wardrobe is just black. Not even Harry's was when he had the symbiote.
You hungry? I could go get a pizza.
Pizza time.
Before we get down to business, there's something I have to tell you.
I'm gonna put some dirt in your eye.
Even our free roam music has changed while we have the symbiote. It holds this anxious, uncertain energy with every note. Had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. It's honestly impressive how much one-for-one this mission is compared to the PlayStation showcase, with the only cuts being of that to hide story details. We can always appreciate when a game delivers quite polished and not be lied to during its reveal. Insomniac is right up there with Capcom as my favorite developers right now.
It's just his skin.
Doesn't that mean he's getting bigger?
The assumption being that this lizard doesn't stop growing, and if he isn't cured soon, he will be like Godzilla after a couple days. Takes what I always viewed as a boring C villain all the way up to A+. Can't help but enjoy how this mission has some horror elements to it, while not knowing where the lizard is, and just how big he's gotten, and Peter cloaked in shadow for Miles' first time seeing the black suit.
No! Spider-Man has got defenses!
A little inverse to the start of Miles' first game. The best part of Spider-Man's set pieces is that we're always an active participant in them. Whether it's full-on gameplay or just QTEs, we never get to just sit back and enjoy the ride. Unless you turn off QTs like me, which is a great option to have. I like the idea that we just murdered Keiki. I mean, just listen to his scream. No f*** given about the civilian. Even Miles is perturbed by it.
So do I.
Oh shit, the suit just leveled up. See how those eyes got pointier? And like, I think Pete's just being metaphorical, but little does he know. I really thought we were gonna go all Raimi with it and have him get Venom teeth for a bit and have his same frame. Yes, I know Eddie got that, but you know what I mean. Interesting that the only thing that was untouched in this lab is the Emily May tree. Kind of saying that no matter what happens, their legacy will endure?
That's not it.
Oh gosh, those eyes in the background. Notice how much weaker Peter's spider sense is since getting the suit. He struggled against Kraven in the church and now here. Not just new enemy types, but continuous new game mechanics all the way through. I mean, hell, we even get a whole new character for a second. Like I mentioned earlier, boss battles are so vastly improved, and sure, it took like half a game to really get them started, but we're getting them. It's an actual fight where we've got to read their moves and use our resources properly instead of just one gimmick to win, and there are a lot of good ones coming up. And we've got what I call the Kingdom Hearts life extender bubbles. I dig it. I only call them that because it was the first time in a game I saw something like that as a kid. Don't at me. I'm really digging this lizard's design, you know, an actual lizard. Okay, you know what, that was only Garfield's movie, but I don't read the comics, and that shit was whack looking. There's a new lizard king in town now.
He, in his spare time, is running around dressed up like a giant dinosaur.
Peter may be becoming a bully, but he still respects ancient history. Plus, Jurassic Park reference. Insomniac has a way to make all these villains so much cooler and more threatening than they've ever been in, say, like, I don't know, the MCU. We'll have to see about the Goblin, though. They've got big shoes to fill. Otto's pretty scary, too. Okay, fine. Just 3 in the MCU.
No, I don't want to do this! Really? You asked for this!
Watching Peter get more and more violent is so scary. He is kind of the strongest person in town, but of course pulls his punches. I've always wanted to see what would happen if he didn't. Like Garfield's Spider-Man said in No Way Home. Can we get that Spider movie, please, Sony? Pretty please? Like, what? We are chasing him through the entire city and now we're skating up a New York high-rise? How does this fight have more dynamics than Venom's? Just like with the Prisoner Breakout, this level has so many different locations it takes place at, and it's insane. Ugh, gross. Those regenerative powers are no joke.
Looks like we got competition.
See the parallels yet? John Pisano coming in once again to blow my eardrums. Swear, even if Venom heard this, he would love it.
Shoot it off! Do it!
Did not expect to see his arm origin story. Oh shit, just check how much more alien the suit has now become that the symbiote has touched the magic space rock. And some made it a point to make this black suit gross and terrifying to the general public.
We need to destroy it.
Destroy us?
Excuse me? Us?
You said it chose me, Doc. It makes me a better Spider-Man.
This is horrifying. This entire arc with the lizard has been a mini horror game, and the boogeyman the entire time is Peter. I mean, just check out the camera even becoming unsteady as Peter is losing himself.
You're still in the suit. I thought Connors was gonna help you get it off. What about Harry?
I missed the part where that's my problem.
Nope. Dolly zoomed to convey her shock at Peter during his blackout bender. This feels like self-preservation for the symbiote, or even a conscious thing from Peter to show MJ that it's still him in there. Using Spider-Man's kindness for weakness. Kraven, you dirty dog. Jesus Christ, to be conscious enough to warn somebody you love, but not enough to control yourself. Somewhere I've personally been, and when bad moments like this happen to us, for all those involved, we can feel just as hopeless and horrified as this scene is. Addiction is no joke, friends. And just like a blackout bender, there's nothing more anxiety-inducing than checking that phone the next day. His phone is almost dead. Attention to detail.
I need that suit back.
Oh, those steps backwards, the anger on his face. Yuri is killing it.
This suit is the only reason I'm still alive.
Yeah, it's pretty great, isn't it?
Why don't you pop some more pills and say what you're really feeling?
Hey!
The truth is, I'm the hero here, not you.
I waited all game to see Peter act like this, and now that it's here, it's kind of hard to watch. Spectacular job, and some.
I'm ruined. Nothing left except Spider-Man.
How'd I find him? I've got this under control.
Go help him.
Hell yeah, Rio. When you're a mom and worried about your kid, not even the mean, gross black suit Spider-Man can scare you. How many times do you think they rehearsed this interest just to get the timing perfect?
There's no escape.
The mere sound of Lee's voice gets Miles super Venom charged up. That's some real hatred right there.
How many people did you kill before I got here?
I didn't have a choice.
You always have a choice.
If you could do good things for other people, you had a moral obligation to do those things, or something like that. Lee's boss fight is pretty great, having just the regular 1v1 with an impressive amount of moves to contend with, and then bringing us into his realm and having Miles deal with the same fight that Peter did in the first game. Seeing him take down Lee really proves and shows that, yeah, maybe he could 1v1 Peter.
So, your name is Miles. Who are you really? Miles.
Whoa, seeing Mr. Negative dig into someone's head like that takes his villain status from visual gimmick to holy shit, that's scary and powerful.
I know this is you, Lee!
Yeah, of course it is. I'm always here for you.
They do have homophonic last names.
You're done, Lee. You wanna know who I am?
You sure you wanna know? I normally don't like getting such an in-your-face look inside a character's head, but as it's Lee's main power and Spider-Man's identity so sacred, it hits a lot better.
When you're out, find Spider-Man.
Why does Miles get Lee out instead of himself?
Because that's what heroes do.
Miles can handle off Kraven's boys, but Lee couldn't, so he lays down on the wire to let Lee crawl over him.
It has to be.
I'll go check it out. If he so much as laid a hand on Miles.
Aw, his heart's at the right place, like an overprotective dad. Pete isn't even trying to talk anymore, just going straight for him. And how raw that Lee didn't even turn and just deflects Peter's attack. Damn, does Lee look good, you know what I'm saying?
He saved me. Told me to find you. This was the only way I knew how.
Implying that he knows that Peter might be Spider-Man? He did dig around in Miles' head, but he knew that Spider-Man helped out at Feast quite a bit and was their best connection.
You should be proud of him. He reminds me of you.
He's like a father and a brother to Miles. It's so sad it doesn't get through to him right now. He's all dripped up in goop.
What's so great about the new Spider-Man anyway? He can't even stop some hunters.
I hate to love Yuri going full unhinged, dogging on our boy Spider-Man. There's such an allure in media to watch the best of us fall. That's why we love Anakin so much.
I'm going to lose May's house because of them and Kraven.
Kill Kraven.
Venom is coming into Peter!
Phrasing first, boom!
For a second, I really thought they might have a full-on Venom moment before Miles saves him. Peter barely even resembles a human anymore, just a literal and metaphorical caged animal entering a frenzy.
But you're just a dying old man, looking for a way out!
The sound design of Tony Todd's Venom growl and Yuri Lowenthal's voice starting to mesh is making my gamer brain freak out.
And parade your achievement through the streets!
Kraven's boss fight feels completely different from every other one because, like, He really is just a strong dude with a lot of toys, making me feel stupid for kind of getting my ass beat when his only powers are brain and money. Is he Tony? How awesome to have us have to contend with the bell while fighting Kraven. It gave me such a weird feeling at this point. I don't want Peter to have the black suit anymore. I want to let the bell keep ringing, but I gotta fight to continue progressing the game.
They'll tear you limb from limb.
Yep. They give us just enough time with Kraven hanging their limb to maybe trick us into thinking Spider-Man just killed him. My man just straight up made a Minecraft grunt noise. Peter making this arena all goopy perfectly sets the stage for what is the best boss fight in the game and foreshadows just how strong Venom's powers will be on taking over the city. Fighting a Spider-Man is freaking awesome. Having him use things like web zip on us and the shooters, though in some is leaving some stuff on the table with this fight. Swinging is a part of Spider-Man's DNA, and we should have swung around the city while Miles saves the people that Peter almost hurts, but I digress. The dialogue here of Miles never giving up on Peter and Pete fighting for control against Venom is up there as one of the best moments in these Spidey stories.
Revenge? All I wanted was to protect my family, protect you!
It was really important for Miles to undergo more of his arc before being in the proper headspace to save Peter. Had he not given Lee a second chance prior to this, who knows how this fight would have ended up.
How? By strangling him? That's not what we do! Don't try to mentor me!
The student has now become the master. It makes for great ammo on Miles being able to handle the city on his own in the end.
I need this suit. It makes me a better Spider-Man.
Spoken like a true addict. I'll relate it to myself. For a while, I was scared to cut back on alcohol, even though I knew it was controlling me more than I was controlling it. I would make all sorts of excuses, like it makes me more fun, makes me more comfortable, makes me a better hangout partner. It's hard to go back once you have a taste of what could be with these types of substances, or wearing aliens. I'm glad that I've gotten a lot better and have a healthy relationship with alcohol once again, but it wasn't possible for me to do that alone. More on this in a second. This shot I thought about making it the thumbnail. Still might.
You think I'm
but I'm not anymore!
I'm the solution.
Venom is literally speaking through Peter now. We were moments away from seeing him completely succumb. And now, we get to use the bell that we should have from the start.
My back!
Miles is literally holding his own against symbiote-powered up Peter. Sure, you could argue that he's still in there somewhere holding back, but nah, I think Miles has earned this dub. And having the boss name just be Peter instead of Spider-Man or Symbiote Peter makes this much more personal and reminds us that even though Peter is under the influence, it's still his choice to wear the suit in the end, and he will have to be held accountable for his mistakes. He can even parry our moves, what the hell? I needed my partner to help me with my addiction. She pointed out my issues and held me accountable, but at the end of the day, I had to be the one to make the change. Just like Miles here. He can ring the bell to help Peter, but it's up to him to rip it off. Peter has super strength and still struggles to take this off. You could be the best, most strong person in the world, but addiction can happen to anybody, and it is just as hard to beat it for everybody. And like any addiction, it'll come back out of nowhere to get you. You've got to know your triggers and how to circumvent them.
Spider-Man didn't save me back there. Miles did.
And I'm glad it was Miles that did. It had to be him. No other person could understand the struggle of power like that. And of course, beat him in a fist fight. No words needed. You could just see the pride he holds for Miles being everything he hoped for and more. Also, Miles saved Peter again. And I love the submission title, referring to Kraven's philosophy and Peter being able to remove the symbiote's control over Evan. Can we talk about how there isn't one visual mode that doesn't have ray tracing? Even the performance and high refresh rate versions have some ray tracing of some degree. It's still refreshing seeing current-gen titles actually use the new hardware, even 3 years later. Feels like this was the first true year in gaming that's recovered from the craziness that was 2020. Peter is looking at the antenna that he fought Otto at. Another villain that set a suit or something of the sort altered his mind and turned him into a bad guy. It's when Peter finally gets the suit off that he's reflecting on this, understanding somewhat that it wasn't completely his fault, nor Otto's, but also sees himself and Otto, and doesn't like it. Who needs identity anyways? Oscorp totally doesn't have cameras in this symbiote hidey hole, but we need to see his face during his confrontation with Peter to make it more, personal.
Oh god.
Love the symbolism of Venom destroying the cane that held Harry up. It's not just that he healed him and doesn't need it anymore, that's how Venom heals, by destroying. We all saw it coming that Harry was going to be Venom. It wasn't Ensom's goal to make it a surprise. They set it up well in the first game with his illness and the symbiote teases, and then executed it perfectly here in 2 with his relationship with Peter. What would have been super dumb is if they did all this setup and then Robbie Richardson or Eddie Brock gets the suit. People who have nothing to do with the Black Suit story in this game. Who would do that, How stupid of a choice would that be to spend all this time setting up your villain confrontation just to pull the rug out at the end, to be subversive? And does he look good? Huge, disgusting, menacing, everything we could have hoped for and more with Venom. This framing is awesome as it's totally the language Ensom has used to tell us that we're about to play for a boss fight. And then Daddy Defriend comes in and changes everything.
On your knees! Hands on your head!
Are you kidding me? We get to play as Venom? Okay, yeah, that wasn't on my bingo card, and my god. This is the kind of fun that the live service era of games has almost destroyed. Spending so much time and money on development for one mission that's wholly unique to itself and not repurposed anywhere, just for the love of the game and the satisfaction for us. We're even given abilities to use just for him, like, what? And the way we tear through these guys, as just Spider-Man, this would have been a gauntlet, letting us feel for ourselves Venom's power. Venom is brutal too! I bet Ensom had to be very careful on how to do him justice while maintaining their teen rating.
Please! Please!
Oh, yeah. About to give our boy 19 inches of Venom. Any God reference? Yeah, 100% the Hulk from the first Avengers movie references. Just an unstoppable beast in a confined space. Venom.
We were separated because of you.
In sum, you guys are mad lads. Kraven is too crafty to get stuck in a prison, and is among the only villains of Spider-Man that actually stays dead. Giving us control of Venom for this boss fight and giving him personal stake in the fight is just perfect, and not what I saw coming. Like, Venom's an actual character. Kraven can actually stand up to Venom for a time, which is insane. Really shows our first fight how much he was toying with us. Granted, I think Symbiote Peter was for sure stronger than Venom.
Do you know what it's like to have your body betray you?
Yeah, Harry 100% does. We're shown two different reactions to terminal death. One who does everything they can and loses himself in the process of trying to survive, and the other who embraces it and lives his life to the fullest of what he believes to be a proper life. Is Kraven a good guy? Not too sure, but he's handling his imminent death way better than Harry is. This knowledge makes the two of them going head to head even more poignant. The symbiote has a relationship with him, and thematically, Harry and Kraven are on the same level. If you really think about it, Kraven is the real hero of this story. Without his interference, Miles wouldn't have been able to get Peter out in time. Absolute perfection. I don't care what other people say. Kraven didn't have much of a character. He was just a plot device to get the story moving. And yes, he was, but my god, was he a great one who earned his place in this story. He perfectly reflects Harry's situation, is acted amazingly well, and gives us a bunch of goons to fight, all without inhibiting the Black Suit storyline.
We're going to heal everyone.
Tony Todd is insanely good. There's probably some post-production in his voice to give him a little more boom and echo, but listening to him do the voice live, it's pretty much exactly this. Baby symbiotes? Nope, I'm good. See what I'm saying about constant new enemy types? And these are tough. They've got a boatload of health, and now that we don't have the symbiote, these in conjunction with that really makes us feel that loss of power.
I can recreate the Bell Sonic elements. Then we can use it against Harry and his army.
That's genius.
Huh, what an awesome way to have Miles and not Spider-Man be the one to save the day again. Do I love that Peter can rip people out of their symbiotes? Not really. I've always enjoyed that it has to be the person to rip themselves out, but it's a game and we need Venom to have more presence, so fine.
The horrendous behemoth behind the homicide was sporting the same damn spider logo of New York's own Spider-Man.
Venom takes on the logo 100% just to spite Spider-Man. He's an alien from space, but that doesn't change the fact that he's a petty little bitch.
Just promise me you'll stay away from him, okay?
Gotta love that in stories.
Pete, you look tense. Coffee?
That's so gross, but nothing better than a dinner sit down with the villain. Also, Harry, come on. You think a guy named Venom is gonna help you heal the world? Alright, since I don't read comments, Sindel entering the chat was the last thing I expected.
MJ. I'm sorry.
She's a boss? This game just doesn't stop, does it? Notice it's Scream this time around and not MJ like how Peter's fight was. I mean, the teeth and eyes are a bit of a dead giveaway that there is like no MJ left in there, but whatever.
I live in your shadow where my dreams turn to dust! That is the truth!
What are you saying? You do make a difference!
This entire boss fight is just one big therapy session between Peter and MJ.
Because you lost a job or can't pay a bill! I write words I don't believe in for a man I despise! So you can be happy!
I didn't realize! MJ, you can quit! I can figure something out!
I can't trust you!
This scene really got to me. Between the music and the dialogue, it all just hit too close to home. And I think that's why we love the Symbiote storyline so much. I was crying during this entire screen fight because it's just so real. Stories create heightened versions of our everyday struggles. These struggles feel so big in our mind, body, and soul, but we are just everyday regular people. So whenever games take these struggles to the extreme, it just hits all the same because to us, that's how it actually feels in the moment. We might not be physically facing a monster, but to us, it's the scariest monster we've ever faced. First time seeing that, I thought Peter just messed up and Scream accidentally hit the jackhammer with these pipes, but no, this was actually an alley-oop between him and MJ. This suit brings out everything, the worst of us, all those negative feelings, everything your inhibitions tell you not to say. It's another reason why we love the Symbiote story so much. It's just so relatable. Haven't used that in a while.
Kiss my ass. I quit.
What's up?
You're so cool.
You're Spider-Man, and her quitting her job is so cool. Peter is the best of us, admitting when he's wrong, enjoys roller coasters, calls his girlfriend cool. If you're watching this, call someone you love right now and just tell them they're cool.
It wasn't you. And I wasn't me earlier.
This is when I absolutely lost it. I think we've all been in situations where we said and did things we didn't mean, where we look back on ourselves disgusted that we really did or said those things. Seeing this forgiveness that I've recently been graced in my own life just tore me to shreds. Hey, look, Miles saving Peter again. Oh, wait, this isn't looking good. Yeah! Straight up my reaction seeing Lee. I totally forgot about him and was so immersed, my marbles were lost.
Mad they stole your routine?
I know you're joking, but you're making my point.
Aw, they're buds now. Kinda.
And we are the only ones who can find where it lives.
Lee learning the same lesson Peter did, just without being so self-centered. Good on him. Still killed people, though.
It has a stronger hold on them than I thought.
The symbiote lingering after it's been removed is a beautiful representation of how even after we've expelled those demons or atoned for our past actions, there will always be a little bit in there that could resurface at any time. We just need to be conscious of what exactly is that's eating us for when those bursts come out so we can control them.
You killed them all.
The problem solved.
Like for Peter here, he's always struggled with if it's just easier to kill the villains instead of just playing musical chairs with them at the raft, and his guilt over not saving May. And through the growth he undergoes throughout the game, and because of Miles, and most importantly because of Lee and his powers, he's able to finally control the symbiote. It's actually pretty neat because originally it was Lee that saved a post-symbiote Eddie Brock and created Anti-Venom. Just a little twist on the formula. Notice Lee's eyes immediately shift down. You could just see the shame in him.
I won't forgive you.
You want forgiveness? Get religion.
Huh. Miles' new power given by Lee after dropping his hate is something that brings everyone together. You get it, right? So that's how we keep our symbiote power. I was so confused. I saw a whole skill tree dedicated to it, but of course, we couldn't keep the actual symbiote.
I wasn't about to let you die.
Miles, that's
another time he saved you is what that is.
Reforming your greatest enemy. Can't say I've ever done that.
I feel some people would hate this, but I feel tragedy is more so Peter's curse as Spider-Man than Miles. Once again, during Venom, New York City, our free roam music has changed to something super eerie. Just had to one-up Spider-Man 1 having the entire world state changed, didn't they? It's also neat that the tendrils now get in the way of our swinging, forcing us to be more attentive.
That suit's not an alien, is it?
Everybody's totally normal reaction to Miles' new suit.
They love me.
That suit's not an alien, is it?
No, but it's just as terrifying as the one you wore. Okay, yeah, it's goofy as hell, but I like the hair drip showing, and finally Miles has his own suit that's wholly his and not living in Peter's shadow, and it's totally not a advertisement or anything, not at all.
Harry's still in there. And we're gonna fight like hell to get him back.
Call the play, coach.
And to bring Miles completely into him being New York's one and only Spider-Man, he's the one giving the OG the pep talk he needs to keep swinging.
You cannot do this alone!
Right. Call me when you're done. Sorry, Miles, but I can't waste any time.
Miles again being the Spider-Man.
Please help us, Peter. We need you.
I'm trying, buddy.
Pete's maybe thinking that's actually Harry getting through, but nah. Venom still just wants the strongest Spider-Man back.
Hold on, I'm nearly to you.
Peter's Spidey sense doesn't go off at all. It recognizes that Harry is still in there and doesn't view him as a threat.
But we need you with us, Pete.
Harry on the inside still wants to make their dream a reality and heal the world with him. Venom, on the other hand, wants Peter's power back on his side so he can, I guess, remake and take over this world for himself? It's not exactly clear. I guess the symbiote just wants to survive and Harry wants to heal the world. So together it's the classic villain doing the right thing in the wrong way.
Yo, bro!
Not cool.
Miles, saving Peter again.
I'm in. See you guys at home.
Home, you guys. Miles has a home with them. When the toys and the map come out, you know.
We're in the endgame now.
If all those symbiotes get out of Manhattan,
Goodbye, Earth. Hello, planet Goo.
So this isn't just about NYC or saving a loved one, but the whole planet? It's a little too grand scale for my taste in a spider story, but hey, it's an end-of-the-world superhero plot that actually doesn't have a blue beam, so we take those.
you know Harry's not gonna let that rock out of his sight.
They used a goblin to represent Harry. I almost wonder if it'll be Harry being the goblin instead of Norman. Probably not, because same antagonist twice might be so lame, and there's so much setup with Norman, but so cute, it's probably a hobgoblin reference.
I can't thank you both enough. For everything. Come on, bro. We're the Spider team.
Don't anyone forget it.
Tell that to your gameplay sequences, MJ. I really enjoy that our final fight incorporates a bit more swinging between these fields and Miles fighting an airborne Venom. Plus, it's cute and symbolic of the relationship to fight here. Okay, what? Since when could Venom do that? That's awesome. What the f***? Why am I fighting Ganondorf all of a sudden? Okay, that makes her part of the spider team now. If you never know what Spider-Man is swinging off of, assume it's a helicopter. What a shot, for real. I'm really glad that Harry didn't know what he was getting himself into when he took the suit back, and is still one of the spider pals helping take down Venom, and doesn't just still hate Peter, as now that he's also hit rock bottom with the suit, he can understand him. God, Harry's theme is also gorgeous as all hell, standing side by side with Miles and Peter's. His music probably takes the most journey throughout the games, going from small and lighthearted at the start to devastated about his mother and his own illness to heroic and valiant as a spider pal. Then the motif actually gets inverted to represent Venom after he's perverted and twisted Harry. And then back to these heartbreaking strings at the end showing his guilt for what he's done and what he's ruined. Music is just as important to telling a story as the script, visuals, and everything else. Feeling Harry's heartbeat in the controllers, well, I love these haptics. Sure, it was there in Ghost of Tsushima, but it hits even harder here with the more defined pulses. And just the name of Harry's theme, Second Chance, and everything Miles has learned up to this point. He has to be the one to try and give Harry another chance.
I know that face.
Get the G serum ready. ASAP.
I imagine this was made for Harry, but Norman is going to end up testing it on himself instead of going back to formula, and that's how we get our goblin. No clue how Harry's going to fit into everything if he's not the hobgoblin. Now, this looks like a startup. The kind of grassroots start that Daddy Bezos would like us to believe he had. That's the freaking cutest.
I got this. All of it. Go be Peter Parker for a while.
I really think Miles earned this. Sure, his story had a little less love given to him compared to Peter in this game, but it's pretty close to 50-50 between all three games with their screen time. And Miles is finally giving Peter his second chance to live his life with MJ comfortably for a change. These credit arts are pretty slick and give me mad Spider-Verse vibes.
What are you writing?
The final chapter.
So, Spider-Man 3 confirmed to end our trilogy? Kinda neat that Miles has a Anti-Venom scarf hanging around his suit, and as she places it on him, it's a reminder that even without the suit, he can do things for people just as he did for Peter as Miles, and not just as Spider-Man.
Oh, and this is my daughter, Cindy.
So they're introducing Cindy Silk Moon, another spider person. They tossed the idea around about bringing in Gwen Stacy, but opted to not, as there is so much expectation surrounding the character now with Spider-Verse, and went for a lesser-known character that they can pretty much do whatever they want with. This is why I think there will be another spin-off game with Miles teaming up and training Silk to fill Pete's shoes as Spider-Mentor. Plus, Spider-Man 3. 3 playable spider people? Is this hopium? Spider-Man 2 was one of the most anticipated games of 2023, and an already stacked 2023 for gaming. And for me personally, it hit the mark. I've heard the criticisms that the open world doesn't offer too much new and the combat is a bit too repetitive and easy, but I just say, like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Of course, build upon the amazing foundation you created, and Insomniac has, I believe, with this game. admittedly in very safe ways, but when you just take this as a sequel to an already amazing first game, not looking at the greater landscape of the industry, I'm so pleased with it. There's still nothing like the bliss and comfort of just swinging around New York City, and this is a single player's focused story game first. The narrative Insomniac wanted to tell is the major, most important draw. We aren't here for some 50 to 100 hour plus open world game where we could just ignore the main story to fuck off. I mean, we can, but that's not Spider-Man 2's goal. They wanted to have a tight 15 to 25 hour polished Spider-Man experience, and they nailed it. Between the smoothness of the combat, the story, the controls, music, and characters, I couldn't have asked for a better sequel, and I really just can't wait for the next one. Insom is working on a rated M Wolverine game set in this universe, so there is something big cooking for Insom with that possible connected game universe. Despite all its flaws, Sony and Insomniac once again have delivered a banger and shown us why they are the premier publisher and developer when it comes to first-party single-player exclusives. Let me know down below which moment had you cheering the hardest in the game. Mine was either Harry's symbiote reveal at the roller coaster or Lee saving Miles.
And that was a long video, and I'm exhausted. I think it's time to sleep, so we need to pick this back up. Remember, drive the speed limit, drink some water, and love one another. But before we pizza, you just listened to over an hour of my voice, and I want to give back to you somehow. So I'm going to talk to you about gamer subs real quick, because you're a rock hard core gamer whose body's a temple and deserves better than soda and the classic energy drinks. I shit you not, I drink this shit every day. When I got my first box, I thought, cool, gamer juice, whatever. Nah, this shit is good. I can't do coffee because it wrecks my stomach and makes me anxious as hell. I don't like energy drinks because that shit tastes like gasoline. But GG strikes that perfect middle ground. They've got just enough caffeine to keep you going without the crash and tastes so good. Just one scoop and some water and you'll be looking at other people drinking soda or energy drinks like,
look at these poor pieces of shit.
0 calories, carbs, or sugar. Seriously, I've recently quit all drinks other than water for health and mental reasons, and Gamer Subs has been a lifesaver. If I was just selling something to you to get that bag, then I wouldn't be cursing as much as I am right now, to be honest. So use my links in the pinned comment or description to use code GamingWins at checkout to get 10% off your next order. So
hook that shit up. I want to try it.
And get some drink. Sorry, I just blacked out for a second. Where were we? Oh yeah. Pizza, everybody.